Hello and welcome back to another tutorial of ZBrush Basic series. In this tutorial I am going to talk about geometry panel in the tools panel. So here I will cover geometry, subdivision levels, how you can subdivide your model, how you can set the edge loops and the shadow box, how you can use the dynamesh. I will also cover the Z remesher and some more options. So stay tuned and let's get started. So I have opened my project and I will go to the tool panel. In some case, if you don't see the tool panel here, so you just have to click on this and simply drag here so that you can see your tool panel is already there. So in last video I had covered the subtool panel. Now I will cover the geometry panel. In the geometry, the subdivision level is very important. So for example, if you are creating something unique and while sculpting your model, eventually you want to increase the resolution. Alright. So for example, if you have created a model and you just want to increase the resolution of it, so because it starts from the low resolution and at some point when you start sculpting your models and your polygons get stretched, so there is a limit. I can sculpt to a limit, and after a certain limit my polygons start getting deformed and I don't get the result of what I want. So or if I want to add some V hook, so as you can see right now I am concepting in low resolution model to just get my forms right, and this is a very good point to start with low resolution. So no need to go for high resolution, but at certain point when you feel that your geometry is quite defined and your forms are defined and you want to add some more details, and at that point actually you want to sculpt it a bit more, but that's where limitation comes across. So for example, if I want to add the more information here, or if I want to add the horns, so you can see geometry is getting stretched. You can easily notice that here the polygons have been stretched and deformed. Now if I want to make any adjustment or if I want to sculpt, I can't do it. So that's the problem. So to handle this problem, you can actually simply click on the subdivision level. You can simply click on the divide. I have created a 3 subdivision level. I will just delete higher and we'll start from this. So the moment when you click on the divide, so it divides your model to 4 times. So as you can see now it is more smooth and you can add more details into it. So I will go to the one subdivision level back and you will see, and when I subdivided it, it just adds the 4 times the polygons. Now I have more resolution to work on, to more details to add. and eventually I can get the result what I want. If you want to subdivide it more, you can do it. So I give you an example. Even this is a high resolution model and I have subdivided it once, but still I cannot add some fine details that is present in the skin. So if I want to add skin details or some wrinkles, it won't be look quite high resolution and they will be visible. So that's why now I want to add more mesh into this. To add just more resolution, you just have to subdivide it more, and the moment you subdivide it, your polygons again get 4 times. So as you can see on the here active points, when I was on the subdivision level 1, it was 4300, 368, and when I subdivided it just turned out to be 100,074, 118. When I subdivided it further, it just turned out to be almost 500,000. So that's how your model gets divided and increase the resolution. And as you increase the resolution, your model gets heavy. So I would advise you to subdivide your model with proper planning and with care, because the more you subdivide, the more memory it takes, and your model and your character may start lagging into ZBrush. So you also need to check out that how much polygons your system can handle. So I'm just adding this information, and you can see when I click on the Polyframe mode, you can still see that at some point I have pushed the information, and that's why the polygons get deformed. But that's pretty much obvious and it should be expected. So while sculpting your model, you don't need to worry about deformation of polygons, because anyways later we can actually find a solution to this and we can solve it. So at this moment I will just focus on adding further more details. I think this is the right time to add the eyes. So I will just click on the ZBrush and click on the insert sphere. Now, very important point, whenever you want to use brushes, you just have to make sure that your model is not subdivided. For some reason it cannot you cannot use this brush if your model has multiple subdivision levels. So what I will do to sort this, I will just duplicate this model and delete my subdivision level, delete lower, and then I will add. And now I am able to add this information. I'll just take it back. I'll adjust the position of ice balls, and then I will click on split. Split unmasked point. So the reason why splitting is very important, because if you do not split, it will just merge with your masked model. So if I just click on that, and then if I want to sculpt it, it will also sculpt the eye socket, eyeballs. So that's why, and I don't want to affect these eyeballs, and that's where actually I need to split it. So when I split, now my eyeballs are different, separated. I'm just removing this head, and I'm pretty much good to go. So as I increase my subdivision level, I can actually get the better results. I can now add the wrinkles I want to along the eyes. I can define the eyelids, the wrinkles around it. Oops. Make sure to use smooth brush so whenever you need it, because sometimes in the detail you project and sculpt into the character is quite harsh, so you can just simply click on shift and smooth out the details. Now imagine you cannot add these wrinkles at this stage. You can add, but they may not look that much effective, and you won't get a good sense of wrinkles that comes in the fine details into the skin. So that's why it comes very handy. I'm going to open another project to just explain you further that how subdivision level actually helps. So I'm just going to go in my project folder and will open one project that I have created, and we'll start with this. So my project is loading, and this will actually help you to understand that how subdivision level is very efficient and very easy to add, and by doing this you can actually add a very good details in your character. To give you an example, that this is the character I had created, and here I'll just adjust their beard. As you can see, I'm just adjusting the position of subtools that somehow might get displaced, and that's where actually I'm correcting them. And it's pretty much good to go. Now here you can see this mesh is very high resolution, and I can add good amount of details here. I can add the wrinkles, further skin details, and looking good. So now I have created this model, and this is a very high resolution character. Now the thing is that this is a very high resolution model, and I cannot use it, and I cannot export it, and it cannot be used on any other software because of its very dense resolution. Due to this, I will have to optimize it and reduce its polygon count. For this, actually I'll have to go to geometry panel and go on the ZBrush. So this is a very quite handy tool, and it actually helps a lot. So to use this, I will just duplicate this model, and I will hide everything else to just explain you further. So now I have duplicated this, and when I will go and click on the geometry and ZBrush, what actually it does, it just remesh the whole object into a low resolution model that is quite more efficient to use and more efficient to work on. So as you can see, so here you can see the difference. I will just turn on the polyframe mode, and you can see the difference. The actual model has a very high resolution, very high detail, and another way could be I can export this model into Maya and then do a manual retopology, but this is not needed at this stage when I am actually concepting it. So that's why. So this is a quick solution to retopology, to create the retopology, and you can see this has created a very quite good looking low resolution mesh that is easy to work on. You can also modify the settings. So I'll just undo and click on the change. I can change these settings. So right now my target is 5 million polygon counts. I can click on the freeze border, so it will make sure it will match your model to the most possible extent. I will, if you have groups, then you can click on the freeze groups, so it just maintains your groups, polygroups. Otherwise it just deletes all the polygroups and makes the model into one polygroup. So I will just adjust this adaptive size to, let's say, no, this is not actually, sorry. So I will just change the target polygon counts to 5 million to, let's say, 2 million, something sort. Okay, to So this is very important. In many cases, when you want to slide, use a slider, you don't get exact. You don't get the exact value. So if this is the case, you can just simply click on here and press your desired number and enter. Right now, I can click on Z remesher, and now it will remesh the whole character and it will stay under 2 million polygon limit. And sometimes you get an error, so this is because of new Z remesher tool, a bit of complicated. I will just go and click on the legacy 2018. Now it will just, I will again press the Z remesher and it will start Z remeshing it, and it will stay under 2 million polygon count. So that's that. So you can really control how much polygons you want to dedicate to your model, and you also need to be very sure about that how many subtools you are using. So because the total number of polygons in your ZBrush file should also remain under your limit, because if you use 50 million or say 60 million polygon, then it may be quite a challenge to handle by ZBrush and your PC. So that's why. So as you can see, I have reduced the polygon count, and the Z remesher has handled this quite efficiently. It is a very smart tool. So basically it just added the more details wherever it is needed, like on the ears, on the eye socket and the lips, and you can now start subdividing it and adding the more details. So here you can start creating the details. You can start adding those wrinkles here. I can start wrinkles here. And as you increase your subdivision level, you can add more details. So now you can see I can add finer details. If you have seen my previous videos, I had also covered that how you can use your brushes to add fine details like skin. I would like to add skin pose, so I will go and change the stroke mode into spray and change the alpha to alpha 23, or say alpha 23. Now I can add finer details that I want. So by default the details comes out, and if I want to push inside, I just have to press Alt, so it just reverse the details. Instead of pulling, you just can start adding the pose. You can reduce the Z intensity so that you just don't add excessive details. So that's all. So subdivision level actually works very well, and whenever you create your model and you think that you are good to go to the next step, you can simply Z remesh it. So it gives you two advantages. Now you can add further details into your ZBrush model without increasing your polygon counts, and second, your model is quite efficient and easy to handle in ZBrush also, because of less number of polygons, it is quite easy to handle in ZBrush and in your PC, so your PC won't hang. So that's it for now, and in next video I will cover the dynamesh and the edge loop tools. So these are very extremely important tool and quite handy to work on. So because dynamesh is something that you will use on daily basis and most frequently, so while you want to concept your model, dynamesh is going to be the first thing you want to use it. So you can just keep creating the model, you can keep sculpting and without getting worried about your polygons getting stretched. And that's where actually it comes. And this video, that's it in this video. If this video helped you, give it a like, share and subscribe this channel so that you can get all the updates of upcoming videos. I have planned to launch many tutorials for you guys, and keep working and keep sculpting. Happy sculpting. So I'll see you in the next video. Till now, bye bye and thank you.